Hello students, I want to talk with you a few minutes today about the comprehensive writings of Baha'u'llah. These writings include every possible phase of human life, individual and social, as well as material and spiritual things. They include interpretation of ancient and modern scriptures and insights into near and distant future of prophetic anticipations. Baha'u'llah was an unlettered person, that is, someone with no formal education. Yet he quoted scriptures accurately from various religions. His writings also show a grasp for social, political, and religious problems in the West. Even his enemies at the time admitted that his wisdom and knowledge were immense. His mastery of languages was also remarkable, despite a lack of literary education. Sometimes he wrote in modern Persian, the ordinary language of his fellow countrymen. At other times, as when addressing learned followers of the Zoroastrian religion, and by the way, that's the religion of the three wise men, he wrote in pure classical Persian. He also wrote with fluency in Arabic, sometimes in simple language, sometimes in classical style. Baha'u'llah's styles and ways of writing also varied. Sometimes he used very simple terms and language, in others a wealth of poetic imagery. In some there is profound philosophy. In others there are allusions to Islam, Zoroastrianism, and Christian scriptures. He also alluded to Persian and Arabic authors and literature, and legends and stages of spiritual life. Generally, Baha'u'llah's writings are divided into three time periods. First, early writings, that's up to 1863. Then, what's called the Rumelian period from 1863 to about 1868. And thirdly, the Syrian period, which is from 1868 until his death in 1892. Baha'u'llah's early writings focused on transforming and uniting those individuals in the Baha'i community. Only a minority of those numerous writings have been translated to English. Three prominent themes in the early writings were the spiritual mystical path, the ethical demands of belief, and certain doctrinal concerns. Most scholars feel that the most important theme in Baha'u'llah's early writings was his own sense of the divine presence, which was important to the vision and emerging position of religious leadership. The Babis responded to the spiritual authority that he expressed. By the time of the Rumelian writings in the second phase, Baha'u'llah was seen as leader of a new Babi colony in Edirne, which is now in Turkey, and was the exile called Adrianople. And this resulted in serious conflicts with his half-brother, Azil. During this period, there was a great amount of writing from Baha'u'llah, most addressed to various followers. The major themes of these works was the proclamation of Baha'u'llah's own mission as a messenger of God. He began to outline some aspects of what would become distinctive Baha'i practices, including specific prayers for fasting and designation of the house of the Bab in Shiraz and house of Baha'u'llah in Baghdad as pilgrimage sites. This period also marks the beginnings of Baha'u'llah's proclamations to the kings, a series of letters addressed to the world's leaders, summoning them to heed Baha'u'llah's call, to cast away things they possessed, to fear and follow God, to rule with justice and safeguard the rights of those that are downtrodden, not to flaunt themselves before common people, to unite and avoid warfare, and to end corruption and extremes of wealth and poverty, and to warn them of divine consequences if they did not heed his counsel. Then in the Syrian period writings, everything Baha'u'llah wrote or dictated to his secretary was now regarded by his followers as divine revelation, and previous writings were retroactively incorporated into the body of revealed writings. He wrote over 15,000 letters and books that have been identified thus far. Writings during this period included continuing proclamations to the various kings and rulers, religious laws, and a united and just world through social reconstruction. He proclaimed the unity of the human race, asked rulers to come together to establish and uphold peace, called for a common universal language, and promoted education and agriculture. He continued themes from earlier writings, such as the need for piety and ethical action by his followers. He also continued to compose many prayers. Baha'u'llah expanded on the importance of religion and fear of God as means of preventing human wrongdoing and maintaining social order. He praised constitutional monarchy as the ideal form of government and stressed the importance of parenthood. In his final years, Baha'u'llah continued to proclaim his mission as the revealer of God's cause. He counseled his followers to teach the faith, to try to live praiseworthy lives, to be tolerant of others, and to associate with believers of other faiths with friendliness and fellowship. All forms of religious violence were forbidden to followers, and they were instructed to be good citizens of their states. Baha'u'llah expanded on various religious and philosophical concepts. He discussed practical topics such as health and medicine. He called for the end of the persecution of the Baha'is in Iran, and he indicated that there would be no further manifestations of God, that is, no further messengers of God or prophetic manifestations for at least 1,000 years.